Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button if you guys are fans of the content being posted onto this channel to always be in the loop with more content similar to this, and be sure to hit the video up with a like if you're enjoying the content. And with that being said, let's begin. With the upcoming Halloween Kills movie looming over the horizon, scheduled to be released in October, there are lots of questions being thrown into the air on whether or not this movie is going to be delayed, or if this movie is in some way, shape, or form going to be cancelled from further having to be shown in theaters due to the global pandemic happening right now. And even if Halloween Kills does follow a trend in having to be put on video on demand, or if things go back to normal with Halloween Kills having to be released, many people are begging the question as to what exactly this movie is going to present in terms of introducing a dynamic atmosphere and introducing an element to Michael Myers that's bound to stick around for the foreseeable future, because Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, along with Halloween 2018, is all scheduled to take place during the same night. So with that being said, if all circumstances are going to follow Michael Myers having to pursue Laurie Strode and her family following the events of them basically leaving Michael for dead in setting the house ablaze in trapping Michael Myers to burn forever, we know that Michael Myers escapes, but the question here is what exactly is Michael Myers going to do with the following characters: Laurie Strode, Tommy Doyle, Karen, Lindsay Wallace, Allison, Cameron, who is of course Allison's ex-boyfriend, Julian, the boy that was babysat in Halloween 2018, Sheriff Barker, and many others within the film, for this film to establish a master narrative of Michael losing his mind and going on a complete rampage. Most of those characters in this movie are going to have to be written off. Now, we understand that there is going to be a third and final act to this movie, that being Halloween Ends in 2021, depending on, of course, if things do end up going back to normal with the current outbreak happening in the real world right now. Even with that being said, there needs to be a comeback from our heroes if the overall direction is going to be for Michael Myers to be put down for good in Halloween Ends. Now, there are one of two, maybe three circumstances that could come from Halloween Kills going into Halloween Ends. Of course, Halloween Kills needs to end off with Michael Myers emerging victorious, but even then, what if there is that pragmatic opportunity for Michael Myers to not only emerge victorious in Halloween Kills, but ultimately also ends up victorious in Halloween Ends as well, in being the sole survivor and victor of that story? It is possible for them to go into a direction to where Halloween Ends basically closes the curtains with Michael Myers still remaining intact and having to be set roaming free within Haddonfield. There is also that chance that they could introduce a whole new element to where Michael Myers is put down for good. Now, introducing the concept of Michael Myers having to pick apart specific characters, there is that chance to introduce a shocking element by having Michael Myers actually pick apart those that you really don't expect from Michael to kill off in the middle movie in Halloween Kills. And one of those that's actually pragmatic to the series would be Allison. If Michael Myers were to somehow get his hands on Allison and take her out in Halloween Kills, not only would that create such an emotional drive for Karen losing her daughter, but this would create such an emotional breakdown for Laurie, because this is her granddaughter that she spent so much of her time trying to help, and seeing more of herself within Allison in wanting to give her a better life than even how her mother had, that would be something that I can see Laurie Strode taking into Halloween Ends in wanting to not only get payback for Michael Myers and what he had done, but really establishes the narrative of Laurie wanting Michael's blood for what he did. Now, do I believe this is going to be the master narrative going forward? Absolutely not. If anything, we might actually end up getting the total opposite in having Michael Myers pick apart Karen in Halloween Kills, in thus having Allison and Laurie carry the torch into Halloween Ends, and perhaps maybe pick apart Michael in the finale. Now, we don't really know the overall specifications as to what's going to happen, but what I do think is Michael Myers should pick apart most characters in Halloween Kills, that being Sheriff Barker. I think Sheriff Barker needs to be someone that is indefinitely removed from the movie, because given his overall status of being a sheriff, can you imagine if Michael were to go out of his way to take out the head honcho, in further having to solidify himself as an actual threat not only to the normal people of Haddonfield, Haddonfield, but also to the entire police department in the fact that Michael took out the sheriff with absolute ease. Now, another person that I feel like Michael Myers needs to take out in Halloween Kills that would really affect Allison out of all people involved would be Cameron, which of course was Allison's ex-boyfriend. So with Michael Myers, or Cameron in this case, having to stumble upon Michael, would that make a good narrative for Allison to find the body of Cameron even after what happened during the events of the Halloween party they went to, in order to further establish Michael as being someone that really doesn't care? He needs to take out Cameron. Now, in terms of Lindsay Wallace, I would also like to see Michael take her out as well, but in the same light, kind of keep Tommy Doyle alive for Halloween Ends, because I could see Tommy and Laurie and Allison playing a huge role going into Halloween Ends, or of course we could see the total opposite in having Laurie, Allison, and Lindsay, or perhaps maybe just Karen, Allison, and Tommy. Anything can really happen, but I do think that going forward what Michael needs to do is further create a situation to where there's tension, there's a level of desperation, and this really comes from them having to really strategically incorporate an element to where Michael actually feels threatening, because we really don't know right now what the status of the real world is going to be in the next year or two, because with the world having to be in shambles right now, we really don't know when exactly they're going to start filming on Halloween Ends, if they haven't already. But even with that being said, we understand that everything is supposed to be taking place within one entire night, so that means all 3 movies are going to be scheduled and spread throughout the duration of an entire night. So that's what's going to make this that much more interesting, is the fact that how far can they really push the envelope? How far can they really go in telling this story? Now, we understand that Halloween Kills was set to be bigger, badder, and bloodier than Halloween 2018, which is a good thing, but at the same time, it kind of creates a situation to where one must beg the question as to what exactly they're going to do with Michael's character, how far can they push the envelope. So in order for them to tell a more brutal and violent story involving Michael, there needs to be a sense of payback, there needs to be a sense of revenge, and there are so many movies that are being pushed back, there are so many movies that are being canceled because of what's going on in the world. I don't really see Halloween Kills being a movie that's going to be potentially canceled or pushed back, and if it is pushed back, it's for the greater good, because right now the movie theater industry is really suffering considering what's going on in the world. So whatever ends up happening is going to happen, and even if Halloween Kills gets delayed, which I really don't see happening, I can definitely see the creators behind this film adding more details, adding deeper elements and more meaningful elements to the movie. And in the comment section below, I do want to get your overall thoughts on the absolute best and worst case scenarios for this movie, because the entire fandom of the Halloween franchise seems to be divided in the idea that they really don't want Michael to perish in this movie, which of course could end up being a thing. By the end of Halloween Kills, we could have Lindsay, we could have Tommy, we could have Laurie, Karen, Allison, all of them get together and somehow attempt to take down Michael again, in giving us sort of like a similar cliffhanger to Halloween 2018, to where something happens to Michael only to find out that Michael survived again. You can't really rule that possibility out, because it's actually likely for them to do that if they don't go into a narrative where Michael Myers ends up being the victor of the story, the victor of the movie, the Thanos, per se, of Halloween Kills. So there's always that chance that somehow Michael could end up doing his thing in the beginning and middle portions of the film. He's seemingly ruthless, he has the edge, and then all the while towards the end, they end up outsmarting him, they end up besting him, and that's the end of the character, or at least that's how it's portrayed. So in the comment section below, I want to get your thoughts as to the characters you think Michael Myers should pick apart, the characters that you think Michael Myers should take out early on, or at least in the middle of the movie, and your overall thoughts and feedback on how this is going to carry on over into Halloween Kills, because with everything happening right now, there's not a single person that ever thought this was going to go down. But with that being said, Halloween Ends may in fact be a movie to where it might get delayed because of what's happening, but even then, it would give the creators more time to process and develop an actual good finale for this, because the last thing anyone wants to see for this specific Halloween franchise is for this to end in a very lackluster way. But then again, conclusive narratives are often subjective because people do prefer different things. But in the end, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. If, of course, you guys are new to this channel, then I do encourage you guys to smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload. Give this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below. If, of course, you guys are simply stoked, ready, and excited for both Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, then I do encourage you guys to slap that like button down below. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody, and stay safe. Peace.